So, today I want to talk about something that affects a lot of us in ways that I don't think we recognize all the time, and that is intersectionality. Now, this is a word that I am sure you have heard before, but today I want to talk about how intersections show up in our lives as women who are on our journeys of self discovery and personal growth and confidence building. Now, I'm a Black woman, I'm a veteran, I'm a military spouse, I'm a coach. I exist in the intersections of these identities, and each of these layers brings its own set of experiences and expectations and challenges. And when I'm running my business, these intersections sometimes create opportunities for me. For example, being a Black woman coach allows me to bring a certain type of voice and perspective that resonates with many of you who listen to this podcast. Being a veteran, a military spouse adds another layer, of relatability, perhaps some credibility to my stories. I'm also an oldest daughter and I'm an Aquarius. Like all of these things make me who I am and they guide how I show up in the world. So, in this episode, I want to talk about how these intersections can show up for you. And with regard to your confidence growth journey, the intersections that it's important for you to focus on. Let's get into it. Hey, welcome to Confident Women Glow. I'm Mo James, your confidence coach and guide on this journey of self discovery, self trust, and self expression. I believe confidence is more than a mindset. It is a practice. It's about showing up boldly, even when life feels messy, and owning your journey every step of the way. So whether you are in your car, at your desk, or just taking a breath between responsibilities, thank you for letting me speak into your day. Let's get into the episode. Hey, quick pause to tell you about something that I created just for you. If you've ever needed a judgment-free space to process your thoughts, get grounded, or reconnect with your power, I want you to meet Camille, your AI confidence coach. Camille was built by me to support you any time of day with journal prompts, reflection questions, mindset coaching, and encouragement rooted in the same compassion and clarity that you hear right here on this podcast. Whether you're working through something heavy or you just need a gentle push to stay on track, Camille is here to remind you that you are not broken. You are becoming. Tap into your truth at your pace with Camille. Visit CamilleAI.net to learn more and start your journey today. Now let's get back to the episode. So understanding intersectionality is about understanding that each of us has multiple overlapping pieces or flavors that make up our identity. So it could be race, it could be gender, it could be ethnicity, it could be social economic status, or other facets that make us who we are. Listen, we contain multitudes, okay? We are multifaceted kaleidoscopes, and our unique blends of herbs and spices shape our experiences in specific ways. And I feel like they can create opportunities and challenges that are different from someone who may not have all of the layers that we have. And I think it's important that we are aware of these intersections and not just the ones in us, but in the people around us. I believe when we do that, when we can have an awareness of the intersections, it allows us to kind of cultivate empathy in a different way because we can recognize that everybody's experiences are shaped by the layers that they carry. So for us as women on our journeys of self-discovery and confidence building, understanding our own intersections can be empowering. It is empowering. What it does is it helps us to accept and love ourselves more deeply because we can admit just how much it takes to navigate the world with all of these overlapping identities, all of these different pieces that make us who we are. And just as there are intersections that make you who you are, when you're in a season of self discovery, when you're questioning, when you are unlearning, when you are relearning, I believe it's important to tap into resources that speak to those intersections and are multifaceted. You are not a one dimensional person. And so I believe it's important to have resources at your disposal that are also not one dimensional. They are able to hold capacity and hold space for all of the pieces of you that you bring to the table. We're not just one thing, we are complex and layered. We are kaleidoscopes, and every turn, every little shift reveals a new pattern or a new layer that adds to a beautiful story that makes us who we are. And being aware of these layers is a must. It's what allows us to move through life, I feel like, with grace. And we can reject the shame and the guilt that other people try to put on us. And then we can focus on embracing everything that we are. When you are able to honor the intersections within you, you create space for understanding of you and growth. And this is where my coaching framework comes in. So, my framework is built on three pillars that make up confidence. These pillars intersect. The first pillar is self-acceptance or self-love. And this is the foundation. Like if you can't get this, you're going to struggle with all of the other ones. This pillar is all about embracing who you are with all of your intersections and leaning into the wisdom that comes from each layer. You learn how to love the parts of yourself that the world has tried to make you feel unsure or ashamed about. When you can accept yourself fully and love the parts of you that other people might see as a reason to doubt your worth, baby, you stand on solid ground. Okay. You are saying, this is who I am. I'm good with me. I'm enough, no matter what you or anybody else thinks. That's why this pillar is so important. It is the foundation upon which everything else is built. And from that pillar, we move on to self-trust or courage. Because let's keep it 100. It takes courage to show up as your full self in a world that often demands you to be small, be quiet, fit into a box, abandon parts of yourself. Courage is what allows you to reject labels and obligations and expectations that the world tries to put on you and stand for yourself and make bold decisions for yourself and honor your journey and your growth. And then finally, the third pillar is self expression. This is where I know you've heard the quote that says, when a woman cuts her hair, she's about to change her life. Well, I like to say, by the time the woman cuts her hair, she has already changed her life. And the haircut is a signal to the world to treat her differently. That's what self-expression is about as it relates to your confidence. This is where you are stepping out and saying, here I am. I'm not hiding any part of me. This is the frequency I'm on now. This is where you change the temperature in your relationships, in your spaces, in your everything, because you understand that the journey that you have been on to accept and love you, to learn to listen to your inner wisdom and trust yourself and make courageous decisions, you want all of your life to be a reflection of that. And so you express yourself in a different way. You express yourself authentically in alignment with this version of you that you now are. And the beautiful thing about this pillar is when you do it, you inspire others to do it. When you see a woman who completely owns her everything and loves herself and glows from the inside out, that makes you want to stand up a little bit taller. That makes you want to say, oh my gosh, I want that for myself. You create a ripple effect of empowerment. These pillars do not exist in isolation. They intersect just like the layers of your identity. Self acceptance and love leads to courage, and courage empowers your self expression. And when they work together, they activate confidence in a new way. And that allows you to navigate all of the shenanigans that comes with life. You can do that. You can move through those situations with resilience, with grace, with I don't give a F, whatever. So I want you to think about your intersections. What are the identities that make you you? How do those intersections intersect? How do they work together to create opportunities, but also maybe even to reveal some challenges in your life? But most importantly, after you've answered that question, ask yourself, how can you start to lean into a greater degree of self acceptance and love? How can you call up your courage in a more significant way? And how can you express yourself more authentically, more fully, despite the doubts and the whatever that life might try to throw in your way? And this is not easy to do. I understand that this journey gets really heavy sometimes, but I want you to remember this. Every layer, every piece of you that makes up the kaleidoscope contributes to your unique brilliance. They make you who you are. They make up who you are. And the world needs you in all of your intersections. Navigating this journey with self-love and courage and authenticity is not just about finding confidence. I mean, that's a beautiful byproduct of it. That's why I do what I do. It's also about living fully, not moving through life with one hand tied behind your back, one eye closed, and one ear blocked up. Like you can't even experience life fully because you are dulled in a lot of ways. That's what this journey is about. When you show up in all of your complexity, honoring yourself, you give other people permission to do the same thing. So I want to leave you with this. Your intersections are your strengths, and your story matters. The wisdom that comes from every single piece of you is important. So I want to encourage you to keep showing up as the incredible human being that you are, shining bright in all of your intersections. Look at you listening all the way through to the end. Thank you. If this episode stirred something in you, take a moment today to check in with yourself and ask, what do I know is true for me right now? And if the podcast has been a supportive voice in your week, I'd love it if you left a rating or a review. It helps more women like you find this space. And remember, when you need a gentle nudge back to yourself, you don't have to figure it all out alone. There are resources that can help, and I hope you'll find them here. Until next time, keep glowing, and remember, the safe bet is always you.